All right, this is Ashley. I'm going to talk about Gigi Mill's latest work. I'm calling the series Search for Self, and I think it really goes into three major themes. I think theme number one is around loss and love. Theme number two is around relationship totems and those things that remain even though the relationship goes away, and introspection and vulnerability on behalf of the person who's lost her love. So in this series by Gigi Mills, we see a woman who seems to be in the middle of really looking for herself, a new self, a self that she's in the middle of becoming, following a life change that's maybe caused by a relationship loss. The reason I say that is because the themes in the series indicate that the female hero seems to have lost a companion or lover recently, and yet he still appears to be a pretty big presence in her life or in her thoughts. He seems very much on her mind in pictures such as the man who had a smile I liked. It's almost something you'd say about someone you first noticed and then became intimate with, and you could say, well, I met him because he had a smile I really liked. As well as the piece called The Man Who Became a Ghost. It's the only piece where a male appears with a musical instrument, which might indicate that the musical instruments are his. There's something else. There are three paintings that feature a woman wearing an oversized men's robe, which could be his robe, and is the robe maybe a totem of some sort from this past relationship? She's definitely alone, and this feeling of loneliness or loss is pretty evident because all of her works feature people who are alone. There's not a human partner or a friend in sight, along with the hero or heroine of each picture, with the exception of dogs. Dogs are the only living things who are constant and appear as loyal and supportive companions throughout Gigi's work. Music also seems to play a bigger role in her work here than before. Music has served as a source of real pleasure and joy for centuries, and so maybe this woman is trying to recapture that feeling of joy through music now that she doesn't have her partner, or maybe the music is a reminder of her past relationship, as evidenced by The Man Who Became a Ghost. Again, the only painting where a male figure appears with a musical instrument, so that might suggest the musical instruments are his. There's also a few still lifes that you can see in the studio, and instruments with lemons and an open case. They're really interesting because they blend musical instruments with either things from the artist's life, like the easel and painting, or lemons in a pitcher, which represent domesticity. And these are entwined with musical instruments, maybe totems again from a man she once knew. These still lifes are interesting. It's almost like you're seeing the result of a world that was created by two people, and so their items come together and blend, and yet when the relationship's over, the people go away and exit the world, and yet the evidence of their relationship still remains for a time. So that's kind of interesting. Lastly, on the subject of introspection, many of the female figures appear in deep thought while in the middle of doing everyday tasks like eating toast or getting dressed or undressed. They are mostly nude, with the exception of the robe, which falls open in many of them, suggesting vulnerability. And these women aren't light. They're not free. They seem to be really searching for something, looking for something, seeking something that they may believe will become obvious through continual introspection. That's it.